The impact of megacities on biodiversity and natural resources. The impact of megacities on biodiversity and natural resources. Introduction. In recent decades, the world has witnessed an unprecedented increase in urbanization, leading to the rise of megacities. Defined as cities with a population greater than 10 million, megacities present unique challenges and opportunities for both humans and the environment. One of the most pressing concerns associated with megacities is their impact on biodiversity and natural resources. This article delves into the consequences of urbanization on biodiversity and the exploitation of natural resources, highlighting the need for sustainable development practices in megacities. 1. Loss of biodiversity. Urbanization often leads to habitat fragmentation and destruction, resulting in the loss of biodiversity. As cities expand, they encroach upon adjacent ecosystems, such as forests, wetlands, and grasslands. This encroachment disrupts the natural balance, causing species to lose their habitats and forcing them to adapt to new environments or face extinction. A study published in the journal Nature found that the conversion of natural habitats to urban areas is a major driver of species extinction. Furthermore, pollution is a common occurrence in megacities. Air and water pollution pose significant threats to both flora and fauna. High levels of pollution, such as increased emissions from vehicles and industrial activities, can directly harm plants and animals. Additionally, pollution affects the quality of water bodies, making them uninhabitable for aquatic life. 2. Fragmentation and disruption of ecosystems. Megacities often disrupt ecosystems through fragmentation. Fragmentation occurs when natural habitats become isolated due to the construction of roads, buildings, and infrastructure. This fragmentation leads to biodiversity loss by reducing gene flow and limiting the movement of species. Animals that require large areas to thrive, such as large predators or migratory species, suffer the most due to habitat fragmentation. Moreover, the presence of roads in urban areas increases the risk of wildlife vehicle collisions. This can have severe consequences not only for the animals involved, but also for humans. Such incidents pose safety risks for motorists and pedestrians, while contributing to the decline of vulnerable species. 3. Overexploitation of natural resources. Megacities require vast quantities of natural resources to sustain their populations. These resources include freshwater, timber, minerals, and energy. The extraction and consumption of these resources often occur far from the cities themselves, leading to environmental degradation in surrounding areas. For instance, the demand for wood in megacities can result in deforestation and the destruction of important habitats. Furthermore, the increasing population and consumption patterns in megacities put additional strain on ecosystems and natural resources. Unsustainable practices, such as overfishing, can deplete fish stocks in nearby oceans and rivers. Expanding urban areas also lead to increased water demand, putting pressure on freshwater sources and exacerbating existing water scarcity issues. 4. Climate change. Megacities are major contributors to climate change. The concentration of industrial activities and vehicles in these urban centers leads to high emissions of greenhouse gases, such as carbon dioxide and methane. These emissions contribute to global warming, causing changes in weather patterns and environmental conditions. Climate change, in turn, affects biodiversity and natural resources. Rising temperatures, changing rainfall patterns, and extreme weather events can disrupt ecosystems and harm species. For example, coral reefs, crucial for marine biodiversity, are highly vulnerable to ocean acidification and rising sea temperatures caused by climate change. 5. Sustainable development and conservation strategies. Addressing the impact of megacities on biodiversity and natural resources requires a comprehensive approach that prioritizes sustainable development and conservation strategies. Here are some key initiatives that can help mitigate the negative effects. A. Urban green spaces. Creating and preserving urban green spaces, such as parks and gardens, can provide important habitats for plant and animal species within megacities. These spaces can also help reduce pollution, mitigate the urban heat island effect, and improve the overall well-being of city residents. B. Biodiversity conservation. Implementing protected areas within and around megacities can safeguard biodiversity and provide refuge for threatened species. These areas should be managed effectively, with measures in place to prevent illegal activities like poaching and deforestation. C. Sustainable infrastructure. Urban planning should prioritize sustainable infrastructure that minimizes habitat fragmentation and promotes connectivity between different ecosystems. This can include designing wildlife corridors, constructing green bridges over roads, and creating underground passages for animals to safely traverse urban areas. D. Sustainable consumption. Encouraging sustainable consumption patterns can greatly reduce the pressure on natural resources. This can be achieved through awareness campaigns, education, and policies that promote responsible consumption and recycling. Efforts should also be made to minimize food waste and promote local, organic, and sustainable food production. E. Renewable energy. Transitioning to renewable energy sources such as solar and wind power can reduce greenhouse gas emissions and mitigate the impact of megacities on climate change. Investing in renewable energy infrastructure and promoting energy efficiency can contribute to a more sustainable and environmentally friendly urban environment. These approaches can also contribute to mitigating the effects of climate change on water availability. G. Community engagement. Engaging and involving local communities in conservation efforts is crucial for the long-term success of biodiversity and natural resource management in megacities. Promoting citizen science initiatives, establishing community gardens, and supporting local conservation organizations can foster a sense of ownership and responsibility towards the environment. The impact of megacities on biodiversity and natural resources, Part 2. 6. Green infrastructure and urban design. To mitigate the negative impact of megacities on biodiversity and natural resources, urban design and green infrastructure play a crucial role. Green roofs, for example, are an innovative solution that can provide habitats for plants and animals, improve air quality, and regulate urban temperatures. Integrating green spaces into building designs, such as vertical gardens and urban forests, can enhance biodiversity and create healthier living environments for city dwellers. Furthermore, the design of urban landscapes should prioritize native plants and trees, which are better adapted to local climates and support regional biodiversity. Urban planners should also consider the importance of wetlands and green corridors, which can connect fragmented habitats, facilitate species movement, and promote genetic diversity. 7. Conservation education and awareness. Educating the public about the importance of biodiversity and natural resource conservation is vital for the long-term sustainability of megacities. Schools, universities, and community organizations should collaborate to develop educational initiatives that emphasize the interconnectedness between urban life and the environment. 8. Green transportation and sustainable mobility. Transportation is a major contributor to both pollution and habitat fragmentation in megacities. Encouraging green transportation options and sustainable mobility can help mitigate these issues. Governments and city planners should invest in public transit systems, prioritize pedestrian and cycling infrastructure, and promote the use of electric vehicles. By reducing reliance on private cars, cities can decrease emissions and improve air quality, benefiting both human health and biodiversity. Integrating green spaces and wildlife crossings into transportation networks can also enhance connectivity between fragmented habitats and enable the safe movement of animals. 9. Corporate responsibility and green initiatives. Adopting sustainable practices, reducing waste and pollution, and investing in renewable energy are important steps that companies can take to minimize their ecological footprint. By integrating sustainability into their operations, corporations can help drive positive change and set an example for other sectors. 10. International collaboration and policy cooperation. Given the global nature